Hi Yi, hi Shui.
Hi, Feynman.
Good morning and good afternoon.
Good morning and good afternoon.
Pritesh told me that he's back yesterday, so he should be able to join us. Hi Pritesh,
Hey,
welcome back.
hi everyone.
Hi, Pritesh.
Hello, folks.
Thank you.
Hi Junjie, hi Patrick.
Hello. Hi everyone.
Great. I think we have most of the maintainers joined us. Let's get started. I will continue to serve as the moderator of this meeting, and I will share my screen. Let me know if you can see my screen. I'm currently sharing the agenda items for today's meeting.
Yes.
Great. This is actually the last meeting of 2024. So before we get started, I would like to take this opportunity to special thanks all of our maintainers who have been contributed to the project in this year and made this project growing so fast. And now I think we are very close to the next minor release, notation v1.3, and also the end of security audit. Today, I think we have two topics proposed from Yi. So Yi, would you want to drive the discussion of the first one?
Yes. Yeah, the first one is about our upcoming release and also security audit. This is also a recap for what we did so far. I think we are very close to release the security audit report and also complete our 1.3 release. And before the stable release of 1.3, we will cut the 1.3 RC.2 release first. Then we will wait for 1 week to see whether there are critical issues. If no critical issues reported, we will release 1.3.0, the stable release. I also did a check on the RC.2 release. I think the last, the remaining one is notation CLI, RC2. I think based on the current status, I think we already passed the vote, right? And Patrick, maybe you can update me whether we already released the RC2 or it's just some still left.
Yes, the vote has passed. I'm doing the release now, and once it's released, I will announce it in the Slack channel.
Okay, great. Thanks. I think after the 1.3 RC.2 was released, I mean for the notation CLR, we also needed to answer the two security advisory that reported by the security audit team. Those advisories are in the notation Go library, so I think maybe Pritesh, Feynman, I don't think you can show it because it's not answered yet. So maybe Pritesh, Shui, or Patrick, we need to work together to see how we can answer those two advisories. One is the moderate one, another one is the low one. That's another thing we need to do. And after we answered these two advisories, we will receive CVEs, right? And those CVEs we will provide to the audit team so that they can update their security audit report accordingly. By the way, I think Pradesh, you didn't review the security audit report yet, right? Because you just back from the holidays.
I did review it offline. I didn't solely review it, but I did gloss over it and I did provide some feedback to Vani.
Okay, so Wani should provide those to audit team, right?
Yep, I think so.
Um,
She must have done that.
Yeah, maybe yeah, it is also great. You can take another look on the audit report.
Will do.
Yeah, it is in the Slack channel. You can find it. Yes, that's another thing that's we needed to answer the two security advisories. I'm not sure whether it is Shui or Patrick or Junjie who will drive this work. The two advisories, I think, yeah, we need someone to answer those two issues and have the other organization to review it.
I
Yi
think.
Wei,
Go ahead.
please go ahead. Shui.
I think those advisories are ready to be reviewed by British. So British, can you just review them? If you are good, then we can publish them.
Okay, I will review them.
Okay. Yeah, I think yeah. Yeah, once we have those reviewed and published, basically we have everything ready for the security audit report. We just need to inform the audit team that we have everything we need for the audited reports, and if they resolved all the comments, we can move forward to publish it. Basically, they will also need to submit a PR in our specification repo for the audit report as we did previously. And then after that, I think Feynman and I will work on the with audit team together on one blog post for the audit results as we did last time. And another blog post will be waiting for 1.3, the stable release. We will also include the reference including the reference to the security audit report in our 1.3 stable release. Yeah, so that's basically the plan. So if we release 1.3 RC2 today, so basically the last day, I think especially for Patrick, then we will wait 1 week. Probably next week when everyone is back, we will we could announce the stable release. But before that, we need to communicate with the audit team to publish the audit report first. Yeah, that's the plan. Okay, I think that's for the first topic, if no other comments.
Do we expect any response or feedback for notation V1.3 RC2? Do you have a plan to maybe reach out to some known users who share their interest in this release, especially for the CIL check?
Yeah, we can reach out for the user who want to give it a try. And we also have some user we communicated previously. We could ask them to try it. Yeah.
Okay. After the notation CLI RC2 release, I will create a new branch and drop down, and also add a drop down menu on the website for this RC. So users can also get a try from the website. I will publish the RC documentation for maybe public preview.
Yeah.
And once the stable release is out, I will update the version to the stable release. The purpose of this action is to collect potential feedback from the community. So I think two approaches. One is we can reach out to some known users who share their interest in specific features that we did in RC in this release. And meanwhile, I think we can have a preview version on the website for the release candidate and maybe collect potential feedback from the community. And I noticed you have a pull request for CLI related feature in the documentation repository. So I think ideally we can have some user manual like documentation for this release so users can have a try and share some feedback.
Yeah, that document is for the directory structure because we add in the CLI cache. So that is mainly for the specific directory. But for the CLI feature, we don't have a user guide yet.
So that's the thing that we should plan for before the stable release, right?
Yeah, we could write one, and I think for CLI, checking is very straightforward for the user. And yeah, we can do that. It should not cost too much time for that document because it's very straightforward. And normally, if the say triggered this revocation, it's just to fill the signature validation. Yeah, it's very straightforward. We can write one user document. And by default, I think it just work.
Sounds good. I don't have any other questions for this release. Okay, maybe we can continue and discuss the second topic. It's one of the features that we planned for notation V2 and also notation V1.4, right?
Yeah, that's something we need to discuss. So previously, our plan is after 1.3, we will plan the 2.0.0 because we have one feature to change the default behavior of a notation sign command to use the referrals API by default. So we plan the 2.0.0 for the that's the reason we want to we increase the major version, and we also want to include the blob sign for the 2.0.0. That's the plan, and I have an issue in the notation repo that previously used for align the plan. And what I want to discuss is that two things. The one thing is that whether we will consider 1.4 first for the blob sign feature, and I mean we need to plan another V1 release before V2. This is one thing. Another thing is for the blob signing, and if I mean, maybe Femi, you can help to open that issue that's created by Pritesh for the blob signing. So actually in that issue, we have two scenarios. So probably for the first iteration, we will only cover the very basic issue, that is we sign an arbitrary file on file system, generated a signature on file system, and we then for the verification, we also verify the artifact and the signature on file system. So this is the first scenario. So Femi, you can scroll down a bit. Not this, scroll up. And there's a comment from Toddy. Yeah, scroll up. Yes. Actually, there is another scenario that's mentioned by Toddy in this issue, is that after sign, for example, the arbitrary blob is spawned. So after sign spawn, the spawn is distributed through OCI registry. So how the spawn will be stored in the registry and how the signature will be stored in the OCI registry, so that later on, and also how user can validate easily with the spawn and the signature stored in OCI registry. So I think currently all of our current work is focused on the first very basic scenario, that is both the spawn and the signature are on file system. I think we will need to address another scenario as described by Toddy, is that the spawn and the signature are published through the registry, how user can verify it easily. So I think we needed to consider a phased plan. For the first one, we will release the scenario 1, and for the second scenario, we needed to plan another release. So these are the things I want to discuss to see whether everyone agree on this, or we just consider one release to include all the scenarios. And also whether we need a 1.4 first for the blob sign, then later on working on the 2.0 for the breaking changes. So any comments?
I think the blob signing is a very big investment to notation, and there might be potential breaking change introduced, whatever in the spec or in the implementation. So splitting the plan with 2 phases or even 3 would be much more reasonable to me and also to users, because we can continuously collect feedback and pick out the potential use cases from the community. Like Toddy mentioned, there are 2 major scenarios covered and discussed here, but there might be more potential use cases related to blob signing. So I think maybe we can have an iterative plan to make this solution much more mature in several releases. And I think this will also accelerate the release cadence. We don't need to wait until all of those features and small enhancements can be finished, can be delivered in one shot.
Yeah. I have one question. For Shui. Yeah, you mentioned the 1.4 release. My understanding is that we just talk about there are two scenarios, right? And for the first scenario that we are working on, and I think the majority part has been completed by Rakesh, Pritesh. So I think for the first scenario, we didn't see any breaking changes, right? We during the specification discussion, we already considered, right? So that for the first scenario, we didn't see any breaking changes. So that's the reason that Shui, you mentioned we could consider 1.4 first, right? Because there's no breaking changes. And for the second scenario, because currently the scenarios, the specification are not ready, so there are potential breaking changes. So if we do that in 2.0 and we found that there is a breaking changes, we might need to increase the major version again, right? So that's the reason, Shui, you mentioned that we could consider the 1.4 first for the blob sign, the first scenario.
Yes, that's right. But anyway, we should release the 2.0 alpha first, and then we consider backport the block signing feature to the 1.4.
Yeah, I mean, if we agree that we will go for 1.4 first, for the 2.0, definitely we will have the alpha release first. Yeah.
And Pritish, do you have any concerns on that?
Just to reiterate, I mean, I agree we can do the alpha release and then do the stable release. But I don't even mind updating it, like doing 1.4 and then doing stable after that. Like, I'm fine with anything.
So Pritesh, you mean you are fine with that we have 1.4 for
Yep.
the first scenario
Yeah.
for the blob sign? Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, I think yeah, we did we agree on the plan. We will after 1.3, we will have 1.4 first for the first scenario of the blob sign. And I think for the second scenario, before we write the specification, we probably need to do a proof of concept first, because because how we store the signature in the registry and how to verify easily, it's better that we have a POC first for discussion and we align it, then we can create a specification for that. Okay. I think that's basically what I want to discuss for the blob sign. Now we agree on the new plan, and yeah, nothing from my side. One more thing, I remember we have another small issue. I think is it Patrick or Junjie, you update the document, I mean the specification that we want to change the file extension, right? To due to the most the security tools, they will find the pattern with the .seq as the file extension, right?
Yes.
Okay, so maybe this PR need pretend.
It's pending. Yes. Yeah, it's pending review. Pritesh, could you take a look?
Sure, I will do.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you.
this is also related to the issue. If Feynman, you can click on the conversation, this PR, the conversation, there is a issue. I think that issue was created by you, it's by you. Maybe Pritesh can take a look to have the context. Okay, I think that's everything I want to discuss today for the two topics.
Okay, thanks, Yi, for driving the discussion. So I want to double check with our maintainers. So is there any other pull requests and issues that you want to discuss, especially for review? I think this one I already shared the link in our chat. I will also add it to our meeting notes. We just need one more approval to get it merged into main branch.
And for 1.3 stable release, we have several dependabot PRs that's pending approval or merge. I think notation Corgo, notation Go, and notation CLI, those repos have the dependabot PRs. Yeah. They are pending review.
Yeah, we definitely need Pritesh to save the depend bot. They're very long list.
I will take a look by tomorrow on dependent PRs. I think I might have reviewed some of them, but what's the notation? Okay, I'll look at notation repo.
Yeah, I think for those dependency bump up, if it already has enough approvals, has the major approvals from the maintainers, I think we should be good to merge it. Let's do it offline.
Yeah, I think the currently for the audit, I think Pritesh can prioritize review the security advisory that Patrick and Junjie answered in the notation Go. Those two Pritesh can help to prioritize review. If everything okay, that we can just release it, and I will inform the audit team so that they can update the audit report accordingly. Okay.
Okay, folks. Any other questions or topics? If not, I think we can give 30 minutes back to maintenance for PR review and also some other documentation work items. Okay, great.
Okay.
Thank you all for attending the last meeting in 2024. See you next year.
Happy New Year.
Yeah,
Happy New Year.
Happy
Happy
New
holiday.
Year.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye bye.